How did it feel to play a character that sends his followers into such danger, knowingly?
That was really the big issue to tackle as I played James Lawson, was figuring out a way to maintain a leadership role and maintain a peaceful, centered understanding of the principles while also sending out teenagers, essentially, into harm's way, physically, emotionally, spiritually damaging, brutal situations. For that, I went to, research, and I went to track down James Lawson himself, who lives and works in Los Angeles, and was an incredible resource for me to really, really study him and his work and his memory of these events, and I was able to track down some incredible footage also, and that really helped me find. I did used to be a public school teacher, so I do have some experience in front of a class and trying to keep things riveting, interesting, and valuable to a bunch of students that don't necessarily want to be there. But in this case, this is something I would say entirely different. So it was not easy, but I think it was really about, if you can believe it and you can find a way to be courageous and centered and truly at peace with it, and knowing that it's a long-term strategy, a long-term vision. This isn't about Tuesday going and sitting at a counter. Mm-hmm. This is about having a really sustainable machinery to be able to be unrelenting and tire them out, and at the same time get exposure to show the rest of the nation what's actually happening. It was a strategy. It was a very cunning, clever strategy that that really outsmarted the machinery in place.
Well, the scenes where you prepare them for doing the sit-in were really powerful.
Well, thank you.
How was it? Was it hard to say those words, even as actors? The racist words that they say to them to prepare them.
It wasn't hard for me to go there and to use that language, only because I've spent so much of my life studying and using that language and teaching the courses on that information and paying attention to that. So I was familiar enough to have worn out the newness of it, and appreciating the value of, sometimes you need to get hit in the chest with a sledgehammer to realize how it feels to get hit in the chest with a sledgehammer. Mm-hmm.
Totally. And my last question for you is that today's youth aren't called on to protest very much. What do you hope they take away from seeing scenes like this in the film?
I hope that they are called to understand the value of everything that they have here, and anything that involves social justice. You only get what you ask for, and sometimes you only get what you demand. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that takes a couple of decades. And a lot of people have sacrificed and died and bled for us to be able to have any of the freedoms that we have. So I want them, moreover, to just appreciate that, recognize that, do some research on that. We cover so much ground in this film. We can't go in too deep on all things. So I hope people take this as take these as bookmarks to go back and delve into some interesting information on their own, so they can be more informed.